Hello students, welcome once again in our English session. This is our third session of the lesson A Gift of Chappal. We have seen that Mrudu is a main character of this lesson and she went to her aunt's house, actually uh, Rukmini's house, where she met to her cousin, that is Ravi, Meena and Lalli. Ravi and Meena showed her that Ketan, and then what happened? The Ravi actually explained her total information about that small Ketan, and while explaining, Mridu heard a weird sound came from the window, and she wanted to find out what is that sound about. It means she was very eager to find out what sound of what is that sound. Okay, and when she went to the window, here we are, our the that is our next part of our lesson. So let's see what happened next, who's that weird sound is, and let's see. Mrudu crept up to the window. Lalli was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring, her elbow jutting out and her eyes glazed with a concentration. Look at that, what happened when Mrudu heard that's a weird sound. Mrudu kept up to the window. Suddenly Mrudu went to the window and she saw that Lalli was sitting a little distance away from her master, and awkwardly means that not a proper way. She holding her violin and bowstring, her elbow jutting out, her eyes glazed with a her eyes was very glazed or bright, and she looked and she tried to learn that violin playing with a great concentration. Then look at that next part in front of her, with most of his back to the window. In front of her there was her music master, and of whom most of his back to the window, and was the bony figure of his music master. He had mostly bald headed with a fringe of oil black hair falling around his ears and an old fashioned tuft. Here some description about that music master is given, and that is, he had a mostly bald headed, means there were very rare hairs on his head, and with a fringe it means some numbers of hairs are there, and which are oil, and they are falling around his ears, and an old fashioned tuft, an old fashioned way they are around his ears. A gold chain gleam around his leathery neck, and actually gold chain that music master wear, a gold chain, and a diamond ring glitter on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violin. Glided means moved along the smoothly, and that diamond ring he moved along swiftly along with his fingers on the violin. So again some lines are there about that music master. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold bordered vesti edge. Vesti it means dhoti in Tamil. That large foot stuck out, as we see some Tamil or some South Indian people, we will see that vesti they wear oftenly, and one large foot stuck out from it. Okay, and like that it looks same thing, and he was beating time on the floor with the scrawny big toe. And he was beating time on the floor with a scrawny big toe, and his scrawny thin leg he was beating all the time while playing the violin. Because as we know, when we sing some songs, we also beat our feet on the floor, to get that rhythm. Okay, like that. He played few notes. Lalli stumbled behind him on her while. While teaching, that music master played few notes, means kind of variety of music. Okay, so he played few notes, but Lalli actually who is try to learning out was stumble behind him on her while. Stumble means followed haltingly, means she not found correct way to learn, which look quite helpless. And Lalli now look quite helpless. Then look at that uh, whole scenario. Look at that how that music teacher sat on the floor. In front of here is a Lalli and all three kids looking from the window. Here Mridu, Ravi and Meena are there, and they found that Lalli was not holding that violin properly, but that music master hairs are very rare on his head, and that those hair means that fringe means that very few hairs which are oiled. Here you can look clearly. Then see what happened, that Lalli was helpless and unhappy in her hands. What a difference between Lalli and that music teacher or music master. Here Ravi explained us the music master's notes seem to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. Here Ravi tried to notice that the music master notes seem to be float up and settle perfectly, means his notes are very perfect, though there is an invisible track, but they are melodious. It was like the wheel of train, and he compared his notes to the wheels of train that fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along, as Ravi said. And he compared his notes to the wheels of a train that fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing, which means which go properly. And Ravi said, but Mridu stared at that huge. Mridu stared at the huge bearing hand. Mridu looked towards that bearing hand. Bearing means the music master is wearing a ring. Bearing means what? The music master is wearing a ring. And Mridu stared at that. She saw that music master effortlessly up the violin stem and making lovely music. He moved that bearing, means their fingers, effortlessly, and that music master made the lovely music with his hands on that violin. Squawk! There was Lalli derailing again. Hey, look at that! Lalli was not actually on the way, that music master, but she was always derailed. Derails means she wasn't on the way. Okay, and therefore in between what happened, Amma came a well from the gate. Amma, oh Amma, like that somebody well means called out from the gate. Who is that? Let's see who is that. I think you are very curious to know about. Ravi say, Ravi, send that beggar away, cried his mother from the back of veranda. In between, Ravi's mother means who? That is Rukmini. Rukmini cried out, means said loudly that, hey Ravi, send that beggar away. And that Amma, oh Amma, it is the sound of that beggar. And she suddenly replied, hey Ravi, send that beggar away from the veranda where she was chatting. Veranda is a place where she was chatting with whom? With a Tapi. Tapi means grandmother. Okay, and he has been coming here every day for the past week. Here, what happened? He has been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time he found another house to bake from. Patti explained to Tapi. Here Patti explained to Tapi that beggar was here every day from the past week, and this time he found our house to beg. Okay, like that, both are talking about that beggar. Then see next para. Mrudu and Meena followed Ravi out. Mrudu and Meena followed Ravi out. Ravi, who actually comes out to send that beggar back, and therefore Mrudu and Meena from inner side, from that Lalit's learning room, they came out and followed the Ravi. The beggar was already in the garden. When they came out, they saw in front of the gate there was a garden, and that beggar was already in the garden, making himself quite at home. And that beggar behaved like that it was his own home like, and he had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree. And what did he do there? He did like it was his own house, and he sat under that neem tree. He spread his upper cloth under the neem tree like that, and was leaning against its trunk, apparently prepared to take a little snooze while he waited for the alms to appear. And then he wanted to take a snooze. Snooze means a short sleep, and therefore he leaned there. He sleep there at the trunk of that tree, and he was appeared like to prepare to take a little snooze. While that snooze, he wait for the beck. And then what happened? Let's see. Go away, said Ravi sternly. But Ravi told sternly to that beggar, go away, don't be here. My Patti says it's time you found another house to beg from. My Patti said to you that you should go another house to beg for. Okay. The beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed at each of the children one by one. As he was about to snooze, means want to short sleep, the beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed. Gaze means looked at each of the children one by one. The ladies of this house, he said, at last, in a voice choked with a feeling, are very kind souls. The ladies of this house are very kind souls. He talked like that. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. For their generosity, I kept my body and soul together from the last week here. He told Ravi like that. Means I came here from last week and nobody put me out from here. Nobody told me to go away. And therefore, he said like that, ladies of this house are very kind and very generous, and I want their generosity for a whole week. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. I can't believe that they are like talking that go away. He raised his voice, Amma, oh Amma. Okay, I will call them. He raised his voice again and called, Amma, oh Amma. Sad is well might be. His wailing means how he cried out is very sad. But it certainly wasn't feeble. But it wasn't be weak. Because he raised his voice. Means he loudly called. It began in a deep strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly and came booming out of his mouth, with its few remaining teeth stained brown with a beetle chewing. And when he loudly called Amma, Amma, he began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere and in his withered belly. Belly means stomach. That rumble means rattle like a sound his sound was like a rattle sound, and came from a booming out of his mouth with his few remaining teeth, that he had very few teeth inside his mouth, and they were very strained, like there are small patches, brown patches on his teeth because of beetle chewing, means continuing chewing of tobacco, gutka like things. Okay, let's see what happened next. Ravi tell him there's nothing left in the kitchen, called Rukmini. Ravi, Rukmini called loudly inside the house. Hey Ravi, tell him there's nothing left in the kitchen, and he's not to come again. Tell him that. She sounded fed up. And then she again continued that, tell him that don't come again. Okay, and she sounded fed up. Then Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to beggar, because look at that, she talked, or she called loudly, that both Ravi and that beggar, also Mridu, heard that whole the things, and therefore Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to the beggar. Means he don't want to repeat that things, because already both were heard that things. What his mother said had been easy for them all to hear. There under the neem tree, the beggar sat up and sighed. And when they heard what his means Ravi's mother told, beggar sat up and sighed. I will go, I will go, he said wearily. I will go, I will go, he said wearily, very weakly. Only let me have a rest here under this tree. I want to take only rest under this tree, he said. The sun is so hot. He again continued, the sun is so hot. The tar means road. The tar means that thing that put on the road. The tar has melted on the road, and therefore my feet are already, look at that, what happened next. My feet are already blistered. Blister means that small boils came on the feet sole. Okay, and he stretched out his feet to show large. He stretched out his feet to show large. He wanted to show that children what kind of blisters are there. Okay, and therefore blisters means that bubble on a skin. Okay students, let's see. He stretched out his feet to show large pink peeling blisters on the soles of his bare feet. And when he showed that his legs, his actually foot, okay, then that feet had that pink peeling blisters on the sole of his bare feet. And then what happened? I suppose he didn't have the money to buy chappals, Mridu whispered to Meena and Ravi. Have you got an old pair in the house somewhere? And then only they realized they wanted to give him or offer him a pair of chappals, because when all that children saw the story behind the scene, why that beggar came to take a rest under the tree, they found the blisters on the sole of his bare feet, and they realized that they need to help that beggar. Okay students, and therefore Mridu asked Meena and Ravi, have you got any old pair in the house somewhere? Do you have any pair of chappals at your house? Like that. Okay students, so I think you are all curious what happened next, but we will see in our next session. Okay students, here we are going to end our session. Thank you for listening